Check out this chair. This was here. I spent good part of a day and a half of a day cleaning up here, but especially down by the beach. Unbelievable. I mean, just unbelievable. I did a lot of cussing. I'm not against the people who did it. I'm against what they did, and I totally believe their ears were burning. But anyways, this chair was here, so now the place is clean. Basically, I put all I'm going to use the word shit because so much of it was actual literal shit that people put in plastic bags and scattered around the bushes and trees. So all you got is these plastic bags full of shit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's besides all the bottles and diapers and every kind of conceivable thing. And bottles, broken glass, blah blah blah. So there was a huge fireplace down there full of shit already. And I didn't know what there was way more than I could carry out of here. So I just loaded that whole huge fireplace up and then I covered it with a blanket that I found. But anyways, I found this chair here. It was slightly broken. I've been able to fix it. And what a beautiful chair. It's like a throne. You know, I feel like, wow, Lord. Actually feel like, whoa. Yeah, very beautiful. I'm thankful to be here a few days. I'm going to attempt to do a, real light eating right now. And I won't attempt it. I'm going to do it. But anyways, I'm going to do one on the serenity prayer, which came up the other day. I looked it up to remind myself of the words. God grant me the serenity to recognize the things that I cannot change, the strength to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, to accept the things that I cannot change, the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That's the hard one. I think for most people, I mean, we want the world to be better than it is. We definitely don't want to see people we love going through suffering. And if you're a lover, you love everybody. So I had an experience the other day. I'm sitting by the campfire. This is back in Wickenburg area. I have this beautiful campsite there and very quiet. And I've been going there for years. So they have free ranging cows there. And I saw them on the road. And so one evening I'm sitting by the fire and I hear a rustling right by the truck. And I'm thinking it sounded like a person at first. And then here emerges this full grown bull, no horns, definitely a male. Come to see that. And he's just standing there looking at me. And a lot of the cows that are in that area are black. So he's all black, but then I see white spots on him. And he's just hanging right by the truck and right by me. And I'm like, okay. I didn't want him dribbling his snot on the blanket, so I kind of pushed him away because he already did dribble a little bit. And and then I ushered him to be a little further away because it's strange behavior for a bull to do that, and very forlorn looking. I mean, I wasn't getting it, so shuffled him away a little bit, and he's just there, standing, staring at me with his head down a little bit. And so I go up with the flashlight to check him out, and then I start examining the white spots, and I realized they're not white spots; they're cholla cactuses, which are prevalent in that area, and they're nasty. They're like fluff balls, but they are barbed and nasty, and you can't really take them off without hurting yourself or another person. And so here's this cow, this bull, really. I don't know how much they weigh, but I believe over 1,000 pounds a creature here, and looking at me like help. And so my heart goes out to him, and I'm thinking, I don't think he's going to let me pull these things off of him, but I'm going to give it a shot. And so I get a stick and I go up to him, and he's right there in the camp. He's not leaving. So I figure before I go and start pulling off any of these, try to knock them off of him, is I want to touch him and let him know that we're okay with my hand. So I go to just touch his head, and he goes down, and you can tell he's ready to ram me. And so I back away a little bit, and I'm realizing there's no way this creature is going to allow me to knock these guys off. I mean, that's what I'm getting in the spirit. And I've been in these situations with people also where you want to help, I and it's not given. There's nothing you can do, and it is heart wrenching. I had one. It was a really cute one. I was traveling with a sister, and we were in LA, and we were going up Wilshire. We had a connection miles away in Los Angeles area. I don't remember the name of the neighborhood, but it was a good walk. It's going to be like a 10-15 mile walk down Wilshire, one of the main drags in Los Angeles. And we started walking, and she had problems with her ankles. We were coming from the beach going inland. And so I mentioned taking a bus. And then we meet this brother. He's in a wheelchair. And we get to talking to him. And he's drinking a little bit, still early in the day. And he's already a little toasted. But he tells us he got beat up and everything's stolen from him. And he has monies that come in, but he has no ID. And he can't get his act together at all on the streets. And and he says he doesn't usually drink. So he's asking us if we have any way to help. Well, we have this sister that we're going to go and visit, and she would be the kind of person who would help him. It was possible. And our heart went out to the brother. And so next thing I know, he pops up with 3 tokens for buses. When I tell him where we're going, he says, well, I could help. And so the 3 of us lock in, and I tell him, okay, this is the deal. No more drinking. And we could get you there, and we'll ask her. And then you'll have an address, and you can, get yourself together. There's a nice brother. It was no feeling that this was a bad guy in any way. And his story felt true. He's in a wheelchair, and he's recovering from being beat up. So we ended up taking the bus. Well, we ended up having to take 3 buses. And it was a good part of a day's journey by the time we got to where we were going. And on the buses, we had a blast. We did have a blast. And I mean, we took over every bus. And they're crowded buses, and the ghost just beautiful. Beautiful community. And him being in the wheelchair and us helping him, and us in white robes and our blankets and bedrolls on our shoulder. And yeah, it was really beautiful. And it took a good part of the day because whenever we met him must have been afternoon, because by the time we got there, it was night. And when we got to the neighborhood, he wheeled off and came back, and come to find out he had stolen a bottle of booze. And I so much wanted him to get his space together, just to have that miracle for him. But it was also for me. And so we got up to the roads where our friend lived, and there was a hill you had to climb. And there were 2 roads, and I didn't remember which one. I could not put my mind together which one. And plus, we were gonna have to wheel him up, and he was kinda loaded. Even though we got rid of the alcohol, he was now really loaded. And I was in a quandary. And the sister I was traveling with was so cute. Her name is Hannah. She's a mom, and the kids were being taken care of while she was on the road. She didn't know an amen since she was a teenager. And so she turned to me just like a mom. Oh, she turned to him and she says, "You blew it, and you're not going up there because you didn't follow through with what you agreed with." And she looked at me, she says, "We got to take him back to the bus stop." And I went, "You're right." I couldn't let go of the wanting this good thing, this miracle for the brother. And the sister had to step in. And she was absolutely right. I was actually off track with the Lord because of my own will. The serenity prayer, right? Accepting the things you cannot change. And this is where I was, and so I had to let this go. And we took him back to the bus stop, gave him a little bit of help to get down the road. And then when I could not imagine which of those two roads I had to take till we got back there, and then it was clear as could be. And it took me to walk from where we started up the hill to when we got to her house to get back on center because I had actually gone off with my own will without even realizing it. And then you can feel it. You can feel it. So yeah, I'm sure I have more examples, but the whole world is that way, really. The need for us, there's always this thing in me. I wish things were, of course, better than they are. So the acceptance progressively of being able to accept the way things are and and be at peace with that. Serenity, right? What a beautiful prayer. And yeah, of course, we're called upon to change the things we can, which are generally within ourselves. I mean, that's the witness. That's where the work is. But we always have this desire, and it's a righteous desire to do good works and to see good come out of it, as a witness to the Father. And but he has to do that. He has to orchestrate that. And we can't do that with our own will. So then, yeah, the serenity to live in the moment and accept things as they are is a work. It's a big work, and then if you see people suffering around you, sickness is a big one. When people you love have physical ailments and there's nothing you can do about it. You do what you can, but the acceptance and the place of serenity, that's faith. That is faith. Amen.